Hello everyone, my name is Dave Thomson. I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator here at the Richmond Center for Disability, and welcome to our second session of the Empowered Wellness Toolkit. This is 15 to 20 minute videos on peer-driven and life experience topics that help people with challenges and accessibility challenges and disabilities to live a little bit better and help with their daily function. So today is on music and how you can use music for stress reduction and motivation and pain management. So I hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome to the Richmond Center for Disability Empowered Wellness Toolkit session. Hi, my name is Dave Thomson, and we are on our second of this Building Our Tour Toolkit. And our Wellness Toolkit is part of the Empowered Wellness Community Connection project, and it's going to be accessible all year round. But during health and wellness months, which are November to February, we will be adding more to this toolkit. We will be sourcing these videos from staff here at RCD, from questions we have asked when we're open and people come in. We'll have other organizations collaborating with us. And they're basically going to be a series of fairly short videos, 15 to 20 minutes most of the time. And it's mostly going to be around peers with significant lived experience or organizations that work with the disability community. Illness and disability makes daily life much more challenging and stressful. The topics will focus on tips and suggestions that you can try to help maintain and manage your daily mental, physical, and emotional well-being. So as my father always told me, there are many tools that you can do that can do the same job, but it must feel right. So please remember as you watch this video, these are suggestions, not cures. Go slow, do not change too much too fast. These videos were created by peers with lived experience, not doctors. Always consult, then inform your healthcare team of any changes you are considering. And here's a picture of me utilizing some of the tools that I use to help my mood and whatnot else other than what's coming up here. I have 2 seasonal affective disorder lights shining away at me because it was a very dark day. So, welcome to how to use music for motivation, stress reduction, and pain management. So the comedian Robin Williams said this: "You know what music is, God's little reminder that there's something else besides us in the universe. Harmonic connection between all living beings, everywhere, even the stars." So, what makes a good motivational or uplifting song? If you're going to use a collection of songs, then what sort of criteria do you use to pick these songs other than, the thousands and millions of songs that are out there? So I suggest going through these scenarios to identify these songs, and these will come up one at a time here. Important or memorable times. So that's always a big one with a lot of people. They remember a song because it was playing when, or I remember the song that was playing when this happened, or so there's always a connection. Music can sometimes be like a smell memory and whatnot else. So if you had a smell of mom's apple pie, you remember something. If you hear a certain song, you remember a certain time. So if that is something that motivates you, then that's the type of songs you want on your list. Secondly, a strong or unique voice. It's a sound that sort of cuts above all the other songs, something that makes it a bit more special. That's a big thing for me. I really like unique sounding voices. The lyrics, of course. So that's a big part of songs, is what's being said in the song. What's the message, right? And that's always a big motivator. An amazing performance. So it was maybe a special performance. Maybe it was done with different instruments. Maybe it was done acoustically or whatnot, or a cappella or whatnot. So there's all these different sort of techniques, but it really sort of resonated with you. And maybe you heard it live. So if you heard the performer singing that specific song or some of his songs live, then that's a lot of times something that connects you to a memory because you remember actually being there or at a concert. So we'll go over these one more time later on to remind you when we're helping you with your list. So no, this is not a self-portrait of myself, but never underestimate the healing power of listening to your favorite music on full blast while dancing around like an idiot. Always a good thing to think about, makes you laugh. But unfortunately, in times of stress, sorrow, or pain, many of us will stop and forget to reduce three very simple things that keep us relaxed, calm, and keep us efficient at solving problems. The first one is take a breath. Breathing. Of course, we got to keep breathing or we're not going to be anywhere. And I know it sounds, kind of silly, but breathing is a big thing that gets cut off when people get stressed. So your age, your weight, the stress in your environmental factors, all significantly reduce us from taking diaphragmatic or belly breaths. If we're in a stressful situation, we think, oh, we can't stop to go. We'll just take enough to keep going and not pass out. And it's kind of like going on a long trip and only putting in $1 worth of gas. It's just, you're going to keep on having to do it. We function with less and less of these breaths I call them maintenance breathing. So we're just doing enough to maintain our function. But our brain needs that extra oxygen of those diaphragmatic breaths to be more efficient at solving the problem that we're stressed about. So it's very important to breathe. Secondly, laugh. Again, in times of sorrow and stress and anxiety, this is something that we don't do. But laughing is a natural response our body does. And often we may feel laughing is not helpful in solving the crisis or in reducing the stress or pain we are experiencing. So we suppress and avoid it. And there's even situations on television or movies or stuff like that where there's been an extremely stressful situation and someone just laughs because it's a bodily response, right? So this is the second one. And the third one that's sort of connected to the whole theme of this music is routine. We all have routines. And we get these routines because we know that doing them is beneficial to our daily and overall function. We clean our teeth every day, twice a day, so that our teeth don't fall out and we don't have to go to the dentist, right? So we have all these different routines. Just like in number 1 and number 2, sometimes in a crisis, we stop doing these routines. We think, oh, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do this. I can do it tomorrow, whatnot else. And we try to think that that's going to be energy that we can save to tackle our pain or our stress. And it really just isn't the case. You need those routines to keep you functioning and keep you in your normal state so that you're in the best shape to handle that sort of stress. And so for many of us, listening to our favorite music is in one of those routines. It's part of that routine, yet is an activity that often gets neglected. So a long time ago, there used to be the mixtape in the 80s. So if you wanted to collect a bunch of songs together that you thought someone would like, or they were for a specific purpose like dance, you used to make a mixtape. And then in the 90s, there was the CD burning, right? And that was always confusing to old people because, why do I want to burn a CD? But that's how we collected our music in a specific place for a specific reason. And then, of course, came the iPod and the smartphone, where we started hearing the words playlists. And that's where we are sort of now, is creating playlists that we can export to other people. We can say, hey, I got a playlist for your exercise. I got a playlist that'll really help for your meditation class or whatnot else. And that's where we've sort of ended up now. So how do you decide what music should be in your playlist? And I'm going to, a list of things we'll just go through here. Think about how the music affects you. So what do you like the most about music? The sound, the song, the lyric, the singer, right? Like that list. So that's a big thing you got to put in your playlist. Then you got to remember the times music really affected you in your past, and that all connected to memory. These are some of the big ones that you'll see in some people's lists. The first song they danced to at a wedding, maybe the first song they ever danced to at a dance that they remember. Other milestones where music was played, someone's graduation, things like that. A song that was sung to you as a child, your father or mother's favorite song that they used to sing, that you would hear them sing. Those are all huge connections to memory that often the songs get put into people's playlists. Then you consider if you prefer a more fast-paced, energetic music. So what are you going to use this playlist for? Or is it the lyrics that motivate you? I always suggest to check the web. You never know what unique versions and new versions of your favorite song are out there now on YouTube. So many people are redoing songs and with different sounds and whatnot else. And it's always neat to either just revisit a song and go, gee, I haven't listened to that song forever, and just see it in a different way. And lastly, decide if you're going to mix these two types, like if you're going to mix fast-paced with the more motivational and lyrical songs, or do you want to make two separate lists? So just quickly, remember, we're looking at important or memorable time, a strong or unique voice, sometimes if you'd heard it live, the lyrics, and an amazing performance. So I'm going to show you a little bit of my list, and I call it the playlist so the menace doesn't win today, or more affectionately, get your butt moving, Dave. And this is a list of songs all from all different backgrounds and times in my life that I put on, and I just know it's going to perk me up. It's going to get me over the hump. It's going to get me going. And I'll just sort of highlight some of them on there. And I'll sort of say the number and whatnot else. If you look at a lot of times, like those lists that I said, number 11, you can't get it if you really want. Jimmy Cliff. I saw Jimmy Cliff live, so that's why that song's up there. The theme from Charlie Brown was one of my most favorite Christmas songs. I loved it when I was a kid. Number 18, Wonderful World, was my wife and I's first dance at our wedding. So this is a connection. This is how you sort of say, and there's many songs on here that have a lot of memories from different times in my childhood and high school and when I was in the military. And like number 8, Lovers at a Dangerous Time, I remember that specifically from my graduation night in high school. So that's how you connect these songs. And I put this list on, and I know that it's going to help me. So once you got your list, and you always want to keep creating, you want to, people are creating music all the time. So how do you maximize your musical exposure? How are you going to keep hearing that list? How are you going to use it or remember to use it, right? So you got to have it accessible. So you got to make it, and there's so many different tools, which I'll mention in a second. You got to make it as accessible as possible. So you're always picking it up when you go out the door. It's always going on or whatever. If you hear a song for the first time, follow up on that song if you like it. I will sometimes when I'm sitting down working in my house, I'll put the radio on, or I'll put on a musical channel on these smart TVs, and I'll grab a piece of paper and a pad of pen, pen and paper, and I'll have it there when I hear a song and I'm like, gee, I like that. I'll get up and I'll look on the TV and see who did it, and I'll write it down on that piece of paper, and then I'll check that up later on. Find ways to listen to the radio or other things like that are just sort of automatic. One thing I do is I have lights over my garage bench, and when I'm working in the garage, all I have to do is turn those lights on. I also have a radio plugged into that, so the radio comes on right away. So I don't find myself working for 20 minutes in my garage with no music when I all of a sudden just go, gee, I should have been listening to the radio. It turns on right away. All right, so that's kind of one way to do it. If you have like I said, if you have free music channels in your cable package, use them as background music in your home. There's a great, massive variety of stuff that you can find. And some of them are able to download as apps on your mobile phone now. Like the one that I use a lot is Stingray Music. You can download that. If you have a large CD collection, as we said, you don't have CDs anymore, take the time to load those all into a computer. I just did that recently, 600 CDs in total, and now I have access on a memory drive that I can just load those into what I use to listen to my music, and I can go back at it. It's great because how are you going to remember every 600 CDs, right? And again, the devices that you use, the smart speakers you can have that you can take with you, that you can put in different places, all the earbud technology that there is. I use something called Bone headphones that are waterproof. I could swim with them, and they don't go in the ear, and they're waterproof, so I can do swimming and water sports and anything and sweat with them and whatnot else. So there's all kinds of ways to maximize how you can increase your musical exposure. Unfortunately, due to copyright rules, we will refrain from playing any specific music during this session. Yet, in the last slides, you will see a link to some of my all-time most loved motivational songs and videos, and 2 lists that I use as inspiration for these sessions and for this session on Zoom. So in conclusion, you will find this. One good thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain. One of my most favorite lyrics and favorite songs, Trenchtown Rock by Bob Marley. And I've got one other there, Some Days You Gotta Dance by James Taylor, and Simple Man. And I've also included a link to the music therapy information. So if you're looking at other things, expanding that sort of thought about how you can use music, this is another way to do it. So just as we finish up here, I'll just show you these 2 lists, and then we'll be finish this program. And the first list was my original radio program that I did a session on. This was songs to help you face difficult times. So again, this would be a playlist, and this is from themighty.com. And we use this for a radio program. Unfortunately, some of the music we couldn't use because of copyright in Canada, and there was some questionable language on a couple of them. So we altered that, and we found some of the similar, just like I had said, we found some of the same songs, but done by different artists, and we switched it up. So, and I can throw these into the chat for the people if this is being done on Zoom. So thank you very much. This has been an Empowered Wellness Toolkit session, and we'll have more coming in January and February. And thank you for viewing this session today. And if you have any questions, you can please contact me, Dave Thomson, at 604-232-2404 or dave@rcdrichmond.org. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.